They spent their days hunting gators and their nights living by their own rules. But not every cast member of Swamp People followed the straight and narrow path. Since 2010, viewers have watched these Cajun alligator hunters face both danger and victory in Louisiana's vast Atchafalaya swamp. Yet, behind the fame, some cast members faced grim realities, untimely deaths, unexpected arrests, and scandals that shook their loyal fans who ended up behind bars. Who paid the ultimate price? From heartbreaking tragedies to shocking twists, we're revealing the real stories behind the Swamp People cast you thought you knew. R.J. Molinaire Jr. and J. Paul Molinaire, better known as R.J. and J. Paul, weren't just popular on Swamp People, they were icons. The father-son duo brought over 60 years of experience hunting Louisiana's deadliest gators. Their tough, no-nonsense attitude was backed by real strength. R.J. was a world champion arm wrestler, and J. Paul was a Golden Gloves boxer. They joined the show in Season 2 and instantly connected with fans. Their Native American roots and deep hunting expertise made them standout stars. But in 2013, things took a serious turn. The two became entangled in a legal battle that ended with both men behind bars. On August 8, 2013, R.J. and J. Paul got into a confrontation with a 24-year-old man outside Roland's Mini Mart in Bourg, Louisiana. What started as a road rage incident escalated quickly when the Molinaires followed the man to the store and assaulted him with a beer bottle. The man suffered multiple injuries, a swollen jaw, a black eye, and a knot on his forehead. Warrants were issued, and both R.J. and J. Paul turned themselves in. They were booked, posted bond, and waited for court proceedings. The charges: aggravated battery. In court, they both pleaded not guilty. Their legal team insisted the Molinaires were actually the victims. In a strange twist, they claimed the other man had thrown a beer bottle at the Molinaires' vehicle before the fight broke out at the store. Their attorneys demanded a full investigation involving everyone present during the altercation. Despite the serious accusations, R.J. and J. Paul continued to appear on Swamp People for several seasons after the incident. Their roles on the show remained unchanged, and no public record of a conviction ever surfaced. It appears they avoided jail time, possibly through a settlement. In recent years, the two have kept a lower profile and have had limited involvement with the show. Then there's Randy Edwards. Contrary to what some may assume, his death had nothing to do with alligator hunting. Randy came from a family deeply rooted in the swamp hunting lifestyle. He was the son of Junior and Teresa Edwards and the brother of Willie Edwards, both of whom also appeared on the show. Randy had been part of Swamp People from the beginning in 2010, showing off his skills in the Atchafalaya River Basin and adding to his family's legacy. But tragedy struck on September 15, 2018. At just 35 years old, Randy died in a car accident in Iberville Parish, Louisiana. The crash occurred early in the morning while he was driving his 2002 Chevrolet Silverado along LA 76, south of LA 3066, according to official reports. His life was cut short far too soon. According to the Louisiana State Police, the accident happened when he failed to properly navigate a left-hand curve. As a result, his vehicle veered off to the right side of the road and crashed into a utility pole. The truck then overturned, throwing Edwards from the vehicle. He was declared dead at the scene. Authorities noted that he wasn't wearing a seat belt at the time of the crash. They also suspected that impairment might have played a role and took a toxicology sample for testing, though the results were never made public. Following his sudden death, the Edwards family announced the news through their official Facebook page and asked for privacy during their grieving period. Fans and fellow cast members paid tribute by sharing heartfelt condolences and stories about Rhee's impact on the show and his lively spirit. Randy Edwards left behind his wife and 3 young children. His loss was deeply felt throughout the Swamp People community. Roger Rivers became a standout figure in Season 5 of the History Channel's Swamp People, a show that follows alligator hunters in the Louisiana bayous. Born and raised in Zola, Louisiana, Rivers was known for his fearless approach and relentless drive to catch the biggest and most dangerous alligators. One moment that defined his daring persona was when a massive 12-foot 7-inch alligator attacked his boat, knocking him into the water. Despite the risk, Rivers managed to wrestle the gator and bring it under control, which helped him earn a place on the show. Off-screen, he was just as passionate about hunting, seeing it as a way to support his family rather than for sport. He frequently stated that he hunted to survive, not to profit, once saying, "I don't do this for the money. I do it to live off the land. It's what I do and I love it." However, his reputation took a major hit in May 2017 when he was arrested and faced several serious wildlife-related charges, marking him as one of the Swamp People cast members who ended up behind bars. The charges against Rivers were extensive. They included 6 counts of illegally selling alligator snapping turtles, 3 counts of selling reptiles or amphibians without the proper license, 3 counts of illegally taking alligators, 2 counts of failing to tag alligators, 2 counts of selling fish caught for recreation, and single counts of illegally selling alligator meat, selling deer meat, and marijuana possession. These accusations shifted public perception, painting him not as a rugged provider, but as someone involved in the unlawful wildlife trade. Things worsened in September 2022 when Rivers was arrested again, this time for contractor fraud. He allegedly took $6,000 from a client for a construction job he never completed. This incident further damaged his image and suggested a troubling pattern of dishonest behavior. Still, despite the controversies, Rivers has remained loyal to his lifestyle. He's expressed his intention to keep living the way he always has, stating, "It's what I love and I will do it till I die." Yet his legal issues have clouded his contributions to Swamp People, offering a sobering reminder of what can happen when someone lets passion lead them into unlawful territory. Then there's Trapper Joe Leffand, known to fans simply as Trapper Joe. Swamp People has had its fair share of cast members, dealing with legal trouble ranging from wildlife violations to serious crimes, but Leffand stands out as another recognizable face from the series. Renowned for his deep experience in alligator hunting, he held a respected position among the show's cast. According to official reports, witnesses claimed Trapper Joe struck his girlfriend in the chest, shook her aggressively, and even tried to burn her with a cigarette. Both appeared to be intoxicated at the time. Despite how serious the situation was, his girlfriend chose not to press charges, leaving the legal outcome uncertain. Unfortunately, this wasn't an isolated event. In May 2015, while in Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, Trapper Joe was arrested again after his live-in girlfriend accused him of breaking 2 of her ribs during a heated argument. She stated that he pushed her to the ground during their dispute, causing the injuries. Although she initially avoided medical treatment due to embarrassment, she later had the injuries confirmed by a doctor. Even though she didn't want to pursue charges, the case still went to the district attorney for review. These repeated legal problems ultimately led to Trapper Joe's departure from Swamp People after 2016. While the show carried on with new cast members, his absence was hard to ignore given how central he had been in its early success. The serious nature of the domestic violence allegations likely played a big role in the decision to part ways with him. Another cast member who faced major legal troubles was Nicholas Payne, known as an apprentice to Bruce Mitchell on Swamp People. Payne's time on the show was cut short after he got into serious trouble with the law. In 2011, following a violent encounter with police. By September 2024, Troy found himself dealing with serious legal issues. On the 19th of that month, the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, LDWF, launched a covert sting operation on Lake Powell in St. Mary Parish. After getting an anonymous tip about illegal alligator hunting, lines marked with white flags had raised suspicion, and agents set up hidden surveillance in the area to investigate. While monitoring the scene, agents spotted Troy, accompanied by a 28-year-old woman and an unidentified cameraman, moving toward the flagged lines. The woman pulled in a line holding a live alligator, estimated to be between 7 and 8 feet long. Troy quickly speared and killed the animal, then loaded it onto their boat. When the agents confronted them, Troy insisted they were simply scouting and had not taken any alligators, but when shown the evidence gathered during the stackout, Troy confessed to illegally harvesting the gator. He admitted he hadn't used the proper tags required for that specific location. He also acknowledged that earlier that day he had cut a dead alligator loose from his line. That same gator was later found floating in the lake, tied with a line matching the kind he used. Troy was issued 2 citations, one for not tagging the live alligator when it was caught and another for the untagged gator. Each citation came with the possibility of a $950 fine and up to 120 days in jail. Authorities also confiscated his boat, engine, and the gator that had been taken without proper tags. Troy later appeared in court for a civil restitution hearing related to the incident. When asked to comment, Troy Landry declined, saying only, "I got a speeding ticket also last month, but I have nothing to say about it." His daughter-in-law, Lindsay Landry, dismissed the situation, calling it nothing more than a ticket and saying she didn't understand why people were reacting so strongly. Chase Landry, another cast member from Swamp People, was involved in a highly publicized legal issue back in 2016. The controversy started when he fired a gun at a shrimp boat, an action that sparked major conversation online and raised concerns about safety measures during alligator hunts. The incident happened on September 2, 2016, in Bayou Chene, located in Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. Chase was out on his skiff, which was carrying several alligator carcasses from a recent hunt. He noticed a shrimp boat coming toward him at a speed he believed could create waves big enough to capsize his boat. In a split-second decision, Chase fired a shot at the oncoming vessel, hoping to scare it off and avoid being swamped. The bullet reportedly hit a plastic gas can on the shrimp boat's cabin, which started leaking fuel. The shrimp boat's operator, Wayne Maughan, later claimed he had been about 250 yards away from Chase and posed no real danger. The Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office began investigating right away. Chase was later stopped by deputies from St. Mary Parish during a routine traffic stop. When questioned, he admitted to shooting at the boat, saying he felt genuinely afraid for his safety because of the shrimp boat's speed and distance. As a result, Chase was charged with illegal discharge of a firearm and booked into the Terrebonne Parish Jail. Since he was a recognizable figure on Swamp People, the incident drew even more attention. It also opened a larger conversation about the difficulties hunters in the region face and the extreme steps they sometimes take in high-risk environments. Mitchell Gist, another beloved member of the Swamp People cast, met a heartbreaking end. He passed away on May 14, 2012, just 4 days before what would have been his 48th birthday. Mitchell was especially close to his brother Glenn and had a deep love for hunting alligators, something that had become a defining part of his life. By September 2024, Troy found himself entangled in legal trouble. On the 19th of that month, the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, LDWF, carried out a covert sting operation on Lake Powell in St. Mary Parish. This came after they received an anonymous tip about unauthorized alligator hunting, where lines marked with white flags had been spotted. LDWF agents set up hidden surveillance to investigate the claims. During the operation, agents observed Troy alongside a 28-year-old woman and an unidentified cameraman approaching the flagged lines. The woman pulled up a line that held a live alligator measuring between 7 and 8 feet long. Troy then speared and killed the reptile before placing it in their boat. When the agents confronted the group, Troy claimed they were only scouting the area and had not taken any alligators. But when presented with evidence from the surveillance, he admitted to harvesting the gator without the required tags for that specific zone. He also confessed to cutting loose a dead alligator earlier that day, which was later found floating in the lake. The animal had been tied with the same kind of line Troy typically used. Due to these actions, he was issued 2 citations, one for not tagging the live alligator upon capture and another for the untagged dead one. Each citation carried the possibility of a $950 fine and up to 120 days in jail. As part of the penalties, officials seized Troy's boat, engine, and the improperly tagged gator. He was later summoned to a civil restitution hearing in court. When asked for a statement, Troy downplayed the situation, comparing it to a routine traffic violation. "I got a speeding ticket also last month," he said, "but I have nothing to say about it." His daughter-in-law, Lindsay Landry, echoed the sentiment, calling it just a ticket and saying she didn't understand why the public was reacting so strongly. Chase Landry, another familiar face from Swamp People, faced his own major legal incident. Back in 2016, that year he drew national attention after firing a gun at a passing shrimp boat. The situation raised eyebrows and sparked debate over safety during alligator hunts. The incident took place on September 2, 2016, while Chase was navigating Bayou Chene in Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. He believed a nearby shrimp boat was speeding toward him fast enough to cause a wake that could potentially flip his small skiff, which was loaded with alligator carcasses. In a defensive move, Chase fired a shot at the oncoming vessel in hopes of warning it off. The bullet reportedly hit a plastic fuel container on the shrimp boat's cabin, puncturing it and causing fuel to leak. Wayne Moyon, the boat's operator, later stated he was roughly 250 yards away and posed no threat. Following the incident, deputies from the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office opened an investigation. Chase was later stopped by law enforcement in St. Mary Parish and taken into custody. During questioning, he admitted to firing the weapon. Saying he acted out of fear for his safety, Chase was formally charged with the illegal discharge of a firearm and booked into the Terrebonne Parish Jail. Given his role on Swamp People, the story made waves on social media and sparked widespread discussion about the dangers hunters face and the extreme decisions they sometimes make in the heat of the moment. Another tragedy tied to the Swamp People cast came with the loss of Mitchell Gist. Mitchell passed away unexpectedly on May 14, 2012, just 4 days before his 48th birthday. He was deeply admired for his close bond with his brother Glenn and his lifelong passion for alligator hunting. As emergency responders were on their way, paramedics arrived and quickly airlifted Crum to Lee Memorial Hospital in Fort Myers. There, he underwent 5 major surgeries to repair the extensive injuries to his lower right leg and knee. The damage was so severe that doctors weren't sure if they'd be able to save his leg at all. Crum spent nearly a month recovering in the hospital and began rehabilitation shortly afterward. Despite the terrifying and painful ordeal, he stayed positive and focused on healing. His determination to recover never wavered. Even after such a traumatic event, Dusty didn't give up on his passion for wildlife conservation. He made a return to the Everglades in 2023, appearing on Swamp People, Serpent Invasion, a spin-off series that focused on fighting against the growing threat of invasive pythons. Tyler the Swamp Dog was another beloved figure from the Swamp People cast. He wasn't just any pet, he was a fan-favorite canine and the loyal hunting partner of Bruce Mitchell, one of the show's most memorable stars. When Tyler died in 2014, it deeply affected both the cast and the viewers. Originally adopted from a local animal shelter as a gift for Bruce's youngest daughter, Janice, Tyler eventually bonded closely with Bruce. Over time, he became his constant companion. Tyler thrived in the swamp, joining Bruce on gator hunts, retrieving prey, warning of danger, and even diving into the water to help during hunts. Sadly, Tyler developed congestive heart failure, which gradually weakened him. Yet, despite his illness, he remained by Bruce's side in the swamp until his final days. On April 28, 2014, Tyler passed away peacefully in his sleep. Bruce and his family were heartbroken. He later shared the sad news on Facebook, thanking fans and reflecting on the 13 wonderful years they had shared with Tyler. He said the dog had a beautiful life and would be missed dearly. Over the years, many cast members from Swamp People have passed away or ended up in legal trouble, including both major stars and those who appeared only briefly. Who was your favorite character from Swamp People? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.